Welcome! Let's talk about fears today, especially irrational fears. We're going to talk about words which have the root phobia and see what different kind of amusing fears exist in the world. Hi, I'm Ajit from Capshine. Capshine is a revolutionary English fluency program. With Capshine, learning English is easy, quick, fun, affordable, and effective. And we promise a whole new you in 6 months or less. Let's look at some of these words, shall we? The first word is acrophobia. Acro meaning height. Someone who is acrophobic is extremely afraid of heights. Not to a normal level, irrational level. They can't even climb up a 4th story stairs because they're afraid of the height. Since Hank suffers from acrophobia, he has never flown on an airplane. Obvious, right? Why would he want to fly when you're that high up in the air? Acrophobia. Let's look at another one. Bibliophobia. The root biblios means book. It's a Latin root which means book. Bibliophilia or bibliophile is someone who loves books and obsesses about them. Phile meaning love. But phobia here suggests that someone is deathly afraid of books itself. So imagine someone who is a librarian and has bibliophobia. That would be weird. Jane's dream of becoming a librarian seems impossible. She's got an incurable case of bibliophobia. And while you might think this seems like an absurd fear, there are people with this disease or this problem. Because, this word wouldn't exist otherwise, would it? Thanatophobia. Thanatos comes from the Greek word death. Greek word thanatos, which means death. You might also remember this word from Thanos. It's derived from this. Thanatophobia is the fear of death itself. So something like looking at a funeral or just looking at a casket could set off extreme fear in people like these. Ever since her mother died, she has had a bad case of thanatophobia. So whatever can remind her of death will make her panic and have a huge fear or anxiety attack, right? Thanatophobia, irrational fear of anything related to death. Chronophobia, and this might seem weird, someone who is afraid of the passage of time. Imagine being afraid of that, right? So someone who's chronophobic is afraid of the movement or the passage of time itself. For example, the elderly show these symptoms of chronophobia as well. Again, excerpted from another passage, but you get the idea that people who are older become more and more anxious about the passage of time. Speaking of time, don't lose out on time to becoming a more fluent and confident speaker of English. Check out the 30-day free trial right away. And through this, you get access to speaking opportunities, you get to learn and practice as a group. You get a personalized coach who gives you customized feedback and recommendation on how to improve, daily learning challenges and lessons, so that you can build your foundations, and also live classes that help you clear your doubts with a teacher live. Let's continue talking about fears. The next word is pathophobia, which means fear of pathogens or diseases, right? Very similar to another word called germaphobe. Someone is afraid of germs. A pathophobe is extremely afraid of getting a disease. So someone like Shannon, a friend, who used to refuse to go to office even before the pandemic, didn't go so because she didn't want to go to office. She was a pathophobe and she was scared she'll get a disease from someone else, like the cold or whatever it was. So pathophobes stay away from society because they're afraid they'll get a disease. The next is claustrophobia. This is more common than the other diseases, more commonly known. Claustrophobia is the fear of closed and confined spaces. For example, Francis often refuses to get into elevators because he's claustrophobic, right? Because elevators are small spaces packed with human beings, and a claustrophobe will just lose it if they find themselves in that situation. Extreme anxiety and fear for closed, confined spaces. Gammaphobe. In your high school biology, you might have heard of gamete, right? Gammy is another word for marriage, when the male and female come together. Gammophobia is the fear or excessive fear of getting married. For instance, it's okay if you're a little scared of getting hitched or getting married, but if the very thought of the wedding makes you quake in your boots, it would amount to Gamophobia, right? So an excessive fear of the concept of marriage itself or getting married. Nyctophobia, this sounds very similar to what the meaning of the word is. Fear of the night or, well, darkness. Nyctophobes avoid darkness at all costs. For example, Rahul watches all movies from his house as he hesitates to visit theaters due to his nyctophobia. Again, theaters are dark. A nyctophobe wouldn't be able to survive a circumstance like that. So, a quick review of the words we've seen so far. Acrophobia, fear of heights, fear of books, fear of the passage of time, fear of the concept of death, fear of germs and diseases, fear of confined and small spaces, fear of getting married, and of course, fear of the night or fear of darkness. I hope you found this video useful. Try to use these advanced level words in your written or spoken communication when you can. Don't forget to check out the 30-day free trial with Capshine by going to capshine.com or downloading the app from the Play Store. And of course, if you liked the video, give us a like, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell notification to not miss a video like this in the future. Thanks for watching.